Okay, today's lesson will be a short one. Um, it's going to look through something, and then I will leave you to do your assignment because today is your. I know some of you have done it. Well done. Um, but what I'm going to elaborate these techniques. Um, in this session, we are looking for soil, pollen, and diatom. So when we say sampling techniques, that means the collection techniques. So how do you collect soil, pollen, and diatom?
I found this on the web.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so as I sent you that email, I think I have a. Yeah, this is the one I sent you, the table. So the sampling technique, that means the collection technique. So these are the ways you collect soil, pollen, and diatoms. And then it just, analytical technique means the techniques you use to analyze them.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Josh.
Hello.
Hi.
Josh, what are you watching?
Hello.
I can see something in your background.
You see
Josh,
me?
I cannot see you.
Yeah.
I can hear something.
Oh, sorry, it's my TV going to turn off. I'll go on mute. I'll go on mute.
Okay. So yeah, we for analytical. So for example, soil. So I read about your you just see your research activity, and no one added anything more than what I put it. So do you think you can add a little bit more about soil, analytical techniques of soil? Soil, I just only put recording of soil profile. As you already know about the different layers of soil and things like that. So we know the top layer is organic. So that will help in solving the crimes. How? Anyone have any idea? How the top layer will help? You can type. Shared notes. I never try shared notes. Huh. Um, yes, it has nutrients, Alfie, but in order to test, it's an analytical technique. You use, normally the people use like soil. There is a test called isotopic test. I think I mentioned in the lesson. These are just for the analytical techniques. I give you a few, like according to soil profile, pH, microscopy work for color, grain size, and texture. But there are other things you can add a lot more. Yeah, the top layer could contain residue from the human body. So that means that that should be organic. So there is one other technique you can use, analytical technique. If you want, you can make notes. That analytical technique is called isotopic analysis. In this one, you use carbon 13 and nitrogen 15. So hold on, I'll just go and close my door. Hold on. Yeah, so carbon-13 and nitrogen-15, they used for, that is one of the techniques called, used in isotopic analysis. So that is one of the techniques for analytical technique for analytical technique for soil. So carbon-13, how do you use carbon-13? Excuse me. Carbon dating, correct? And also, in the top layer is called the humus, that is that has organic matter. So that will, if a soil, then you can, if you sample soil from different parts, then you can identify which soil has more carbon or organic matter in it. So then you can identify the soil. Again, with nitrogen, is like it's used in fertilizers. So that is like a plant material. So you can find out where which crop will grow in that soil. So that is, these all are helping in the soil analysis. Okay. So that is with the soil. So there are other things. I show you this slide. Yeah. So this one. I think I can type in here. Anything else? There is another technique. It's called cartography. Have you heard cartography? Any idea what is cartography? Just going to write down your names. Who is online? So here I can see Alfie, Brandon, Elizabeth, Holly, George, Justin, Lawrence, Mickey. Okay. Oh, hold on. Just want to make a note of who attended. You guys with me? Are you with me at the moment or just? Okay, right. Cartography means like that is kind of mapping is correct. Correct, Lawrence. It's mapping. So what is mapping means? Is how does it help for actually cartography? We can say it is the study. I can type it. Cartography. It share notes. You can figure it out later if you can. You can search cartography. So cartography, just say it's a systematic study. soils in a given area. So that is called cartography. So how does it help? Correct, Alfie. It allows people to accurately look back on the scene without traveling to the scene. Mhm. Again, we just had like soil mapping, so people uses that for surveys. And again, there are the soil can be interpreted by using this technique, this method called the cartography. And also, if your aim is, we are learning this in the context of forensic analysis. So if you found some of the soils in, so where do you normally find soil in a crime scene? I mean, which soil are important? Not, yeah, the soil is found in the ground, but that is, what is the relation with the victim or the suspect or the scene? Where do you find the soil? Which soil is important? I would say you mainly find soil in the footwear, in the shoes, or sometimes you find soil indoors, inside the house, or like inside the vehicle, sometimes in the car, or these other soils are important. So we just give lots of detail to find out where you get these samples, and then these samples are very small, so you have to give lots of care in when you sample it. So yeah. So for the soil, the sampling techniques, we just talked about we just use brushing and sieving, and then special mentions, special measures has to take in place to not contaminate the samples. Normally, you will find the soil in the clothes, sometimes on the footwear, sometimes in the vehicles or in the graves. You also have to look at the state of the soil. Sometimes it can be, you will find dry soil or wet soil. These are the samplings, and then the analytical techniques can be, cartography is the main one. Then you can record the pH, the color, and also we talked about the grain size. That is also important, and the texture. And one of the other important thing is the laboratory technique. Which instruments you use to analyze the soil? Correct, microscopes. Anything else? And also microscopes. There are different types of microscopes. So you use, do you know that in your chemistry lessons, biology lessons, you must went through these different types of microscopes. Maybe it's electron microscopes and light microscope. And again, you use anything else? Only microscopes? Okay, no one is responding. So I will say it's spectroscopes. Do you know the difference between spectrometry and spectroscopy? Anyone? You can type no if you don't know. Thanks, Vaya. So the difference between spectroscopy and spectrometry. Spectroscopy is you can using spectroscopy you can determine the composition of a substance. You can identify a known compound. That is why we use in soil analysis. So you have come across spectrometry before with mass spectrometry, I think, in your chemistry lessons. So normally, if you have an unidentified compound, you use mass spectrometry to find out. The difference between actually the spectroscopy and then spectrometry, they're actually the same. The spectrometry is when you measure something, that is the spectrometry. Otherwise, they are both the same. So in here, we use mass spectrometry or different other spectrometry or spectroscopy we use to determine the different components of soil. Okay. So first, I'm just going to tell you what your next activity will be when you finish your assignment, of course. The activity I'm going to give you today is the instrumental analysis. What are the instrumental techniques used for this study? So because we are talking about soil now, so I said the instruments you use is microscopes or spectroscopes. So what you can do is you just find out what are the different types of microscopes. I already told you that it's like two different types of microscopes, like light microscope and electron microscope, and their difference in finding out substances. So why in certain substances you use one type of microscope. That is what I want you to write it down. And spectroscopes, there are different types of spectroscopes. Example, I gave you one, mass spectroscope, but there are different types. So one of the important spectroscopes they use in this type of study, I want you to write it down, because I thought when I gave you this table, and then I just want you to elaborate, I thought you will include cartography in it, but I didn't see anyone. So these instruments, I want you to write it down. So all these small activities I'm giving you, this will go into your assignment. These are like a part of your assignment. So if you write it down now, and then you just keep it, and then you can add everything together, and then you can submit as an assignment at the end. So when we talk about the soil, it is similar to the other bit as well. As I said, the sampling techniques of pollen is similar as soil. You just use it a brushing, swabbing, and taping. So again, but in diatoms it is different, because diatoms is found in water. The sampling of water needed. But all the other analytical techniques, all of them will be the same. So they use microscopes and spectroscopes to find different types of pollen and diatoms. Okay. So pollen, there are a little bit more, I can go a little bit more detail about pollen. As you can see, pollen, it's their dispersion mechanism is they can The people can carry pollen from one place to other, or sometimes wind, sometimes animal or humans, they carry from one place to other. And what are the uses of pollen in our analysis? Any ideas? No. Okay, you can say which, because it's pollens, they are in different, they're seasonal, right? So you can estimate the season of death or the last time the victim was in that environment. So, and also there are, for each pollen, there are a different habitats. Some pollens will be in one habitat, and then the concentration of the soil will be different. Some plants only grow in certain parts of the country, and also certain they only grow in certain soil. So all these things can help to identify the crime. And also some drugs. That's one of the important things, like cannabis. These we can identify these drugs using pollen. So again, the sampling locations are already explained, like the soil, it should be indoors and outdoors. Indoors should be inside the vehicle or inside the rooms, and the floor, like carpets, like that. What does that mean, 420? Justin, you wrote it down, 420. Could you please explain to me what it is? No? Okay. Yeah, Sis, you're right. So where the pollen will help us where the victims a victim or suspect where they've been. So that is all pollen, and then the analytical techniques will be the same as the other ones. And the laboratory technique, you can, as I said, is microscopy or spectroscopes. You can find out using, I mean, this pollen analysis. They use the same kind of instruments. So that is all the techniques. Yeah, so I'm just going to give you the activity. I'm just writing down here. So let's say the instrumental techniques. So you have to find out what other different techniques. For example, microscopes, 2 different ones. So if you can find out in which, if there is any case, they use this type of microscope. Sometimes they use optical microscope, or sometimes they use electron microscope. So if you can find out a case where they use this instrument, would be great. And then after when you finish, just send me the copy, and then again after Easter, we can go through the different instrumental techniques. If you found different ones, then we can go through. And also, I'm going to give you the your next assignment after Easter when you come back. few more things, the instruments, and then you need to know the benefits and limitations of these techniques. So when we cover that too, then this is um, this the section, this C section will be finished too. So my question, I'm going to write it down here. What are the instrumental techniques used in the analytical? What are the instrumental techniques used in study of oil and diatoms? So I would like to know, how are they used? I mean, and suggest any improvements. Suggest any improvements means if they use, because in that case they used optical microscope, but if they use, how can they suggest any improvements in the result if they used electron microscope? Or you can say, because there is no point of using electron microscope, because there is a difference between electron microscope and optical microscope. You can only see up to this level. So after this the clarity will be going. So, and again, you can use certain metals you can identify using a spectroscopic method, but certain other components or parts you cannot. So I just want you to discuss and write it down. Just any improvements. Can you all write down this question? What are the instrumental techniques used in the study of soil, pollen, and diatoms? How are they used, and suggest any improvements? It is up to you. You can wait again. I will give you half an hour, and then you just can find out and then bring back to me. Or I will allow you to do your assignment, or you can do in your own time and then send back to me. What do you prefer? Okay, Holly, just on time. Okay, so just write it down and then send back to me. Before the next lesson. That will be 2 weeks. No, 3 weeks time after Easter. I want to ask you something. Do you have any lessons on Monday morning, 9 o'clock? So I can do this together with the other group. Do you have lessons on Monday, 9 o'clock?
Some might because of criminology.
Oh, so you have criminology. All right, okay. Yeah, the other class is they all silent anyway. So it is just like a I know I want you to use your mic. All of you use your mic, and then if you wanted to, you can mute it, and then if you want to say something, you can unmute. But you guys always log in with the headphones. That option is not available anyway. So, okay, Alfie, understand. Oh, Sophia, if you have a lesson, then you're not going to wake up. Monday morning. Okay. Yes, it's up to you guys. If you wanted to stay, and then I'll be available. So if you wanted to stay and then do your research, I'm okay with it. But if some of you haven't submitted your assignment, so if you wanted to, because I just give you some flexibility. If you want to do your assignment first, I'm okay with that. Or we can continue. If you wanted to do this, and then give you half an hour, and then you can come back, and then we can go through. Who is Mike Hunt? Okay. So who is not here today? It's Joseph is not here. So all the others are here, right? Liz. Okay, everyone's here. Okay, guys, what do you want to do? Do you want to come back after half an hour? Holly, if you want, you can take. You can do it on your own time. I'm okay with it. And then Josh, if you want to do it now, it's fine. Let's stay. And what about you, Alfie, Graham, Dinesh? You didn't say anything.
Sarika, do we have 3 weeks to do this?
For this instrumental, yeah, you can do it in 3 weeks. Yeah.
Or do we have to have
Because-
it done for like half an hour?
It is so that there's not too much to do. It's little, just only a paragraph I want. Mainly, I want you to do to find out the different instruments.
Is it a paragraph on each?
Not each. No, it's a small paragraph. I only want like small paragraph of.
Like a paragraph altogether?
Yeah, because so for even though it is different, like soil, pollen, and diatoms, they use the similar. The techniques are the same.
Oh, okay.
They use microscopes or spectroscopes. The technique is the same.
Okay.
So what type of spectroscopes or what type of microscope they use, and then if you can find the main thing is if you can find out a certain case they use these type of spectroscopes, and then they figure it out who committed the crime, or they find out some kind of they sometimes it's no
So like
murder.
case,
Sometimes it has like a drug delivery, things like that.
so like a case example of when it was used, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
which instrument is used. So that instrument is used to that is a they in lab what type of instruments they use to find out what's happened. Yeah. Diane, you have Diane in half an hour.
Do we?
2 p.m. Oh. Okay, so in that case, you can. I don't know. So someone says you have Diane in 2 o'clock, and some says no. I don't know, but
Could
Yeah,
you,
so I only want you to write down that instrumental techniques. So that is one of the criteria for your assignment. So that is why I thought you can spend some time now, and then when I give you the assignment, that'll be easy for you. And then I'll give you more information in our next lesson. Again, yeah. If you haven't submitted your resubmission, please submit today. Anything else?
have you got my
Otherwise,
submission?
you did. Sorry, did you submit, please?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Oh, that is so sweet, Josh. Our next lesson will be after Easter. After Easter. So, I don't know actually. I can have a look. Hold on. That should be, you have holiday from 6th and 13th.
So are we
It
given
should be on the 21st, isn't it?
the assignment after Easter?
Yeah, if I give you assignment after Easter, like 21st, and then you will have like 3 weeks to do your assignment. So
Okay, and is that the
that
last assignment?
going to finish. Sorry?
Is that the last assignment we have to do?
Yeah, that's the last assignment.
Okay.
So because just like this is nothing related to the decomposition and the, what do you say, the insects. So this is a new stuff like soil, and also you have done when I was teaching, they said some of you have done in archaeology or something in soil. So
Carla.
So it is the main thing is sampling and analytical techniques. You need to know how to sample and analyze these things. So then the instrumental one, and then anything I haven't included, I will go through in the lessons.
Okay.
Okay. So the next is, yeah, I'm going to give you the next assignment on the 21st. So that will be after Easter.
Okay.
So have a nice Easter holidays.
Thank you. You too, Miss.
Speak to you later then. Okay, bye.
Bye.